All right, y'all, before I get into this episode, I just wanted to put a little warning at the beginning because there is a lot of sensitive topics in this episode. It's a Halloween type episode, and so I'm going to talk about a lot of things that are paranormal, and yes, there will be death involved. There will be some pretty gory things that I'll be talking about, and yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know about that before the episode started. So, this is your warning. And if you get squeamish over these types of things and or it's triggering for you, I don't recommend watching this. So, yeah, I do hope that you guys enjoy this episode, though. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Disney Chat. It's your host, Alexa, and I hope you guys are having a great day and a great week so far. I mean, I know it's only Monday, but yeah, how are you guys doing? I've been very busy between midterms and projects and clubs and just trying to balance all that with that and my family and trying to spend time with them. It's all been a lot, but I hope you guys are doing well and doing well in school if you're in school or work and all that. I meant to post this a couple days ago, but I've just been very, very busy. But yeah, today is going to be a little different than my previous episodes. I mean, if you watch my previous videos, you'll see that I talked about Disney. I made Disney lists, like music, movies, villains, things like that. But today I'm going to specifically be focusing not on the entertainment of, like, the movies and the music and all that. I'm going to be focusing on the theme parks, Disney World and Disneyland. So, specifically, the scary part of it. So, yes, Disney World is considered the happiest place on earth, and I agree because it is just so much fun and there's so much to do, and it's Florida, and Florida is beautiful, but there is a lot of what I would call disturbing things about Disney World that I have found while researching for this episode. And I did know that there were some weird things that have happened there. I mean, it's been Disney World and Disneyland have been around since 1960s, 70s, something like that. And so obviously weird things are going to happen, but a lot of weird things have happened, including paranormal things and mysterious deaths and just a lot of things. And I did put a trigger warning at the beginning of this video because I will be talking about death. I will be talking about gory things. So definitely click off this video if that's not something that you want to hear about. And before I get into the video, I'm obviously not trying to, like, make fun of anybody who has died at Disney or any of the ghosts or anything like that. I'm not at all being like, I don't know. I don't want people to think that not that I make money off of this anyway, but I don't want people to think that I'm, using these people's deaths for entertainment. And to be truthful, the paranormal does very much interest me, but I am in no way trying to, speak ill of anybody who has died. I'm just trying, it's interesting to me to learn about, but, I would never speak ill of any of these people. I'm just here to inform. So, yeah, without further ado, I will now get into the actual disturbing side of Disney/Disney World. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about is the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Let me know if you guys say Caribbean or Caribbean. I say Caribbean. But I got this information from rfgates.com. And there are a couple things that I found that are very weird about the ride. So, First of all, just a little background info. The ride was created back in 1967, and it was actually the last ride that Walt Disney had personally oversaw before he passed, because he passed a few months before this ride came out. And so here's where the weird part comes in, though. This ride in particular had bones on the ride, right? But it turns out that they weren't fake bones that they created for the sake of this ride. They apparently, at the time, didn't have the tech to create bones that looked to their standard of realism. That's what, as they put it on the website. But, so instead of faking the bones and making fake ones, they decided to go to the UCLA Medical Center and get real ones. So, yeah, for whatever amount of time in the beginning of the ride, they did have real human bones. And this one really freaked me out. I had no idea how they even got away with that. Honestly, I was like, how did they get away with that? For like, I don't know. It was very icky to me. But apparently they don't use real bones anymore, but people do remain unconvinced to this day. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know if they are real anymore, if they're not. I have no clue, but I'm very much hoping that they're not. Because that was a really disturbing thing that I learned that I had no idea about. So, the other thing that I learned about the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, this is from Disney World, though. The other one was Disneyland. This is Disney World. And this is according to Pop Sugar. There is allegedly a ghost lurking around the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney World named George. And he was a worker who helped actually build this ride. But unfortunately, he was killed one day on the job. I think he fell from a platform, something like that. I can't exactly remember, but he did end up falling to his death, unfortunately. And people do say that whenever something breaks on the ride, it's because of George. They think that the malfunctions that are caused on the ride are because of him. And the workers actually have to say good morning and goodbye to George every day they come in or go out of the ride, or he will cause the ride to malfunction throughout the day. And he's actually a very responsive ghost, apparently, or he was a really responsive ghost. Workers would say anything to him and he would do it. Like, they could literally ask him to break the ride and he would do it. But we haven't heard anything from him since 2005, apparently. That's the last time that he said anything to anybody or was seen around, you know? So, yeah, that's all I found about this particular ride. But then I also was able to read into the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. So, this info I got from allears.net. And, before I start on this, I actually went on the Tower of Terror ride when I was about 10 or 11. It was really rough for me. I have whiplash really bad, so it was not a good decision for me, and there's a picture of me on, that they took of everybody on the ride, and I look I'm about to like throw up. Like, I'm in between my parents. I look so, like, I'm about to flip my shit. I look so scared, but, my dad posted it on his Facebook, but hopefully that picture will never see the light of day ever again. But, anyways, that's my history on the ride, but, I'm very glad that I didn't hear about this stuff that I'm about to tell you about, because then I would not have gone on the ride. If I had heard about this stuff, I would have refused. But, yeah, there actually, according to allears.net, there is a rumor that there is a haunted doll on the ride named Caesar. And I think there's definitely a doll, but there's rumors that he is haunted. And his name's Caesar. And if you have watched The Twilight Zone, which I haven't, but if you have, apparently he's in an episode called Caesar and Me. And like George, the ghost from Pirates of the Caribbean ride, if you don't say hello and goodnight to this doll, he will cause trouble around the attraction. So I'm very glad that I did not go on this ride. Like, after learning about this, I'm glad that I went on this ride before learning about this. But another thing that I heard about is that, according to Disney food blogs, there is another legend that a bellhop cast member had mysteriously died after putting people onto an elevator. And they didn't say who or what age he was, if he had any health issues. He just kind of died right then and there. And since then, workers have reported strange things going on the ride, such as the elevator lights flickering and ghosts that are, according to the website, off cue. So I'm guessing that the ride had ghost effects and things like that, and they were just not going off when they were supposed to and things like that. So they think that this bellhop cast member the ghost was messing with this stuff. What are your guys' thoughts on the paranormal? Because I am a firm believer in the paranormal. Just a lot of things that I have heard from people and just seen footage of, and even, okay, so there's actually one story that I have about the paranormal. My aunt was 90 years old when she passed. She passed this past March. April, I'm sorry. This past April, she passed away. And a couple weeks before she passed, she had dementia. So, yeah, she would seem to be talking to things that weren't there or looking at things that weren't there. But I did witness her having a full-on conversation with somebody that wasn't there. And I was really freaked out, especially when I asked her, like, who are you talking to? And Gloria, who are you talking to? And she goes, oh, Aunt Kate. And yeah, her Aunt Kate, she talked about all the time when she was younger. And when she said that, I freaked. I wasn't scared because her Aunt Kate was a wonderful person, according to what she said. But I just couldn't believe that she was laughing at an empty space next to her. She was conversing with a random person that wasn't there. And it was hard for her to talk during those days. So it was really a lot. She did end up passing a few weeks after that. So since then, I mean, I've always believed in the paranormal, but that definitely confirmed it for me. And, yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts on the paranormal, but we're getting off track a little bit. So where was I? Yes. So this I also got from allears.net, and it is about a real ghost being in the Disneyland Haunted Mansion ride. And I'll talk more about this later, but apparently there will be a lot of people trying to spread ashes around the Disney parks. I don't know why. I tried researching it and nothing really came up. I'm guessing it's because people have a lot of memories with that family member at Disney and they want to kind of lay them to rest there. I guess. I mean, I gotta look more into that because it's really that's really fascinating to me. But yeah, so, and specifically, a lot of the ashes that will be spread will be dumped in the Haunted Mansion specifically. I'm not sure why that is either, but apparently that's where a lot of them are found. And so it's said that these spirits stick around to haunt the ride, including the spirit of a little boy who had passed at a very young age, and his mother had spread his ashes on the ride. And apparently he didn't want that. That was not what he wanted. So he is rumored to be haunting the ride, as his soul now permanently lives in the haunted mansion. And ghosts, oh my gosh. Guests and workers have reported sightings of a little boy crying at the end of the ride. And this one doesn't freak me out as much, it just makes me really sad. That poor kid. I don't know what happened to him, but I don't know why his mother decided to put him there, but it's just really sad. If this is true, this is very sad. This is definitely the one that makes me the saddest out of all of these. But yeah, I really hope this one's not true for the little boy's sake, and I hope that he's at peace, and I hope he's okay. So the next spirit that I'm going to be talking about from the haunted mansion is the man with the cane. This was a really interesting, when I heard the title, I had to read more about this. But workers have seen a man with a cane riding the dune buggies on this ride. And it said that he can be seen in between the offload and the onload points of the haunted mansion. So I don't know if they think that he's a ghost because they see him really frequently. I'm not sure. But this is really fascinating to me. And they do see him sitting in the buggy with a cane in his lap. But he's just staring straight ahead. He's never looking around or anything. He's always looking straight ahead. So I think this could definitely be true. And yeah. I wish I got personal. I wish I was able to see people, like interviews of people talking about this, like people who've seen him, because I do want to learn more about this. I probably will do more research after filming this, but yeah. So after going through these 3 rides, I had just found a bunch of miscellaneous creepy information that I could find from people, creepy stories that I could find, and things like that. So, I got most of these from BuzzFeed. So, yeah, I got a couple. So, this one was from Rounds Sarah, and apparently there is a man who died on Big Thunder Mountain, the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in California Disneyland in 2003. And he died because of derailment, because the car kind of just went loose and passengers had to sit next to the dead body for 20 minutes before help arrived. And this one really scared me, because it's like a ride. It's a ride. Like, it's just kind of it worries me. It honestly worries me. I'm like, that could happen. That could just happen. Like, a car could just break on a ride, and you can just fly. I don't know. It's just, this is why it's hard to trust. It's hard for me to trust rides. But God, poor guy. I can't imagine just trying to have fun. Just coming here to have a fun time, and then just your life being cut so short. It's insane. It's insane. So this one isn't nearly as heavy as the last one, but there is a monorail that caught fire at an Epcot station back in 1985, and surprisingly I found a lot of info on this one. So I got it from the info from InsideTheMagic.net, by the way. And this was Disneyland. I mean, Disney World, not Disneyland. And this was apparently reported by AP News. And at the time of this fire, there was 200 guests on that monorail and 40 people in the actual rear car where the flames started. Or the flames were. They didn't start there and spread to the other cars. They kind of just stayed in that one car. But, yeah, people had to literally kick windows open in order to get out of that train. And it took about an hour to get everybody out, and they used fire department lift trucks in order to get everyone out. And I actually did find a couple of people who got like, they got first account, like, interviews of people who saw this firsthand. So I'm going to read those real quick. So, a guest from New York was leaving Magic Kingdom at the time with his wife when they saw the flames coming from the monorail. I could see people on top of the monorail. Most of them were calm, but a few were screaming, "Get us out of here." And I got this from Sun Sentinel. That's where they got this quote from. And then there was another guest leaving Disney World named Bill Morgan from Pennsylvania. And he said that one of the passengers in his car also spotted the fire. And he said it looked like a relatively small fire, and we thought it was coming from the front of the monorail. It was like a tire on a car burning. We saw some debris falling onto the ground. Once the fire got inside the car, it spread very quickly. People in the car must have used incredible self-control. It was a very frightening experience, and how they kept their poise is beyond me. I thought, my God, they don't have a chance of getting out of there. I thought this was going to be a disaster. It was amazing nobody was hurt. And he's very right. I mean, nobody got hurt. Everyone got out. I mean, there were minor injuries, I think, but nobody died, and I think that's just amazing. I definitely thought that a fire like that would have at least killed somebody, but it's incredible that everyone was okay, and it's great to me. It's so good that everyone was okay. And apparently they decided to install a fire detective system in Disney World after this happened, which is weird to me. I know it was 1985, so it's like, I guess regulations like that weren't really taken during that time, but it's just strange to me that after a fire that almost killed 200 people, they're like, oh, okay, let's put in a detective system now. It's like, okay, but yeah, I'm just so glad that people were okay and didn't, that didn't end really bad, which it definitely could have. And the last thing that I found was the thing about the ashes that I was talking about earlier today. People will apparently be found constantly trying to dump the ashes of their loved ones on Disney property. And I thought this was really strange, because I understand if you want to dump their ashes in the ocean or a place that, a place that they've always wanted to go or whatever like that, but I never expected, like, Disney World, and like I said before, people do say it is done in order to honor their loved ones and lay them to rest in the parks. But what was really weird to me is the fact that workers have actually been trained to handle the situation, because it happens so much. And I thought that was really, really interesting, honestly, because you don't expect that, You don't expect, out of all places, to put your relatives' ashes, that you would put them in Disney World, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wish I could have found more info on that, but all I could really find was that, people think it's done because they want to honor their loved ones. That's the only thing I could think of. But, yeah, that is the disturbing side of Disney World. And I hope that I didn't ruin Disney World or Disneyland for any of you. I just thought that these were interesting and scary, and I just wanted to share them with you guys. Yeah, none of these are my stories, obviously. I got them on multiple websites. I hope I said them all. Maybe I'll link them in my description, just in case. But, yeah, I hope you guys found this interesting, and I hope I didn't spook any of you too much. Yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing night, and I hope you guys have an amazing Halloween. Let me know what you guys are doing. If you guys are doing anything to celebrate Halloween, if you're just, if you're going to a Halloween party, or if you're just staying in the house watching horror movies, I'm probably going to do that. I am going to dinner with my cousins tomorrow night, but after that, I'm probably just going to watch horror movies all night. Because I don't have class on Wednesday, which is the day after Halloween, but I don't have classes the day after, so I'm probably just going to stay up and watch horror movies all night and eat candy. But, yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing Halloween and an amazing rest of your night. So, tune in next episode, and let me know if there's anything that you guys want to see me do or talk about. Yeah, let me know. So, have a great day, guys.